everybody, it's Kathy Champion, and you're back in my craft room at Random Acts of Crafting. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in today and for always being so supportive. I thought today that I'm going to do, instead of doing a card, this is still going to be a Christmas themed item, even though it is still in October. So when you see this, we will be either the day before Halloween or Halloween. But I don't do Halloween quite so much. My children are all grown, and my grandchildren live away from me, so I don't have a lot of reasons to do a lot of the ghouly type things, and that's not really my thing. But what I do want to do is I'm going to show you a couple of little baskets that I made, and I can't take credit for this project because a lot of you know Edith Ray, and I love Edith. She was the one who I first saw this done, and I made a couple of them for myself, and that's these cute little baskets. These baskets are so stinking cute, and I use them on my desk. As you can see, I have some of my Nuvo drops in here, some of my glimmer sprays. Here's some more Nuvo drops, and I also keep my pencil sharpener in this one, as you can see. So they serve well to be a decorative little piece on my work table because, like I said, as you can see, I have supplies in it. But these are so cute, and I don't know if you can see, but they have the little arched, they're very fancy looking, and I believe that's what Edith called them, was fancy. They're very sturdy. They are lined inside to make them more sturdy, and that's what we're going to do. Let me show you the other one. I'm going to put this one back over here because I do keep them right here on my table. Here's the other one that I did, and this one's done in a blue. And I put that beautiful little flower. But as you can see, here is an 8-ounce bottle of art glitter glue sitting in that. And it is sturdy enough that it, oops, something's under it. It's sturdy enough that it holds that. There's my Squeaky Clean. I have 2 of the Micro Mist in here. Another little squirt bottle with some Squeaky Clean in it. And it holds it. It absolutely holds it. This is actually the little Wi-Fi adapter for one of my cameras. So, but this is just super cute, and I thought, why not make some of these and make them Christmas? And I'm going to show you my spin on this. And I'm going to start out with the base of my basket being this red 12 by 12 sheet. Now, you do not have to use a solid color. You could use a print underneath and then a solid color to make your stripes with, or your little dimensional pieces that's going to be on it. But we're going to do it like this, and then I will love to see your take on what you do. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start off with this piece of 12 by 12 paper. And all we're going to do to start off with is we're going to put some score marks down. So in order to do the scoring, I'm going to turn my scoreboard a little bit like this so that I can see what I'm doing. But our first score mark is going to be at 3/4. So let's come right here to 3/4. Score all the way down. You want these score lines to be really nice and crisp. Then we're going to come over to 4 inches all the way down, 8 inches all the way down, and then we're going to come over to 11 1/4, and we're going to score down. Now we're going to turn it one turn, and we're going to do those same score marks over again. This is going to give us the body of our little basket, the box part of it. So again, at 3/4, at 4 inches, at 8 inches, and at 11 1/4. Now that's all the scoring we have to do for right now. So I'm going to set my scoreboard aside, and I am going to try to show you on here what we need to cut away. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut away this piece and this piece on all four sides. So this little square and this little square, this little rectangle, square, square, and rectangle. So let's get our scissors, and like I said, we're going to cut these out. But before you do that, let's go ahead and fold them and get them burnished down really well, because the reason we want to do that, we want these lines to be really nice and crisp when we cut away, so that they will have a nice little even place to cut on. So I'm just going to burnish this down, all of my fold lines, and then we'll get our scissors and we'll cut those away. Just like that. Now be careful when you're pushing against a score line that's across like that, because it is easy to tear those. So especially if you're using a lightweight cardstock. This is not the heaviest weight cardstock, and I would advise you to get something heavier than what I'm using, but I just grabbed what I had at the moment because I wanted a good solid piece. So now that we've got everything folded really well, let's see, did I do these? I didn't do that one. Let's see, this one. And that one. I think I did do that one. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I am going to, where I made my X's, I am going to cut up on those score lines just to take them out. You don't have to angle or wedge or anything. You just want to get this bulk out of here. So let's cut up. And then cut over to reach where we just cut. Just cut that away, like so. And then we're going to do the same thing on this other side. We're just going to cut this whole piece out. And I thought by me putting little X's on it, it would help you to see exactly what we are cutting away. And I hope that helps. Okay, so when you finish, you should have a piece that looks something like that. Okay, so now what we want to do, we have gotten these pieces are cut away. So now what we want to do is we want to cut this piece away, and this piece away, this piece and this piece. But you want to keep this and this. So let's go in and let me show you what I'm talking about. We are going to just cut this away. Let me put the X's on them again. Here and here. Turn it around. Here and here. So we're just going to cut these out. We're going to come back and do some more cutting. But I think it's simpler if we take away all of the pieces we don't need first. So that's the reason why I'm doing it like this. So I hope everybody's having a very good end of the October. We are getting tons of rain today and tomorrow, so I don't know how that's going to pan out for our little trick-or-treaters that's going to be out. I know some churches around here have decided to do their trunk or treat inside, so I guess they're just going to take all the candy out of the trunks. And I don't know if people in the north and the west do this, but just about all of the local churches do a trunk or treat. And what they do is they go out in the parking lot and they put the cars around almost in a circle, and everybody opens their trunk, and it gives a nice little safe place for all the kids to come and be able to do the trunk or treat. So okay, what we're going to do now, we are keeping this and this and this and this. So we're going to go in now and we are going to angle cut this piece right here. So I'm going to cut straight up. Just like that. And then we are going to angle this piece so that we just take a little bit of the bulk out. Just like that. We don't want to mess with this piece, but we do want to trim up on this one just a hair. So let's cut straight down like that. And then we're going to come in and angle cut this one. I probably need my longer scissors for that. It would make it a lot easier. I think it would, but then these have a much better point on them. But as you can see now, we've got that little angle out right there. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're just going to cut straight down. And then we're going to come in with that angle. And we're going to cut just like this. Oops, see, that didn't work so good. Let's try it like this. That was better. That piece just kind of fell out. All right, we're going to do the same thing right here. We're going to cut this piece in. And we're going to angle cut this one. So when you angle cut, what you want to do is you just want to go straight up and then angle in. As you come in, you want to almost go down to nothing right here. So just like that. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want these pieces to fold out. So I am going to burnish these down, bringing them in toward the outside of the basket. And that'll make more sense as we go. But for right now, just burnish these, fold them back, and let them go to the outside of the basket. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put glue here, and then we're going to bring that up, and we want these edges to be perfectly straight right here. So I'm going to grab some art glitter glue. And I'm just going to run a bead of glue along the outer edge. You want to get as close to that edge as you can. And up. And over. And then just squish some glue all inside of there. Just like that. Now we're just going to bring that up like this and bring this piece up to it. And this is where we want to make sure that our corner edges are really, really super neat. And that's going to be important when you put this together because these edges need to be as straight as possible. So I'm going to just lay that over, and I'm going to take my bone folder and just go in and press that down so that all that glue gets in there really nice. Now I'm going to fold this piece back, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to do the same thing for all 4 sides, or the other 3 that's left. And again, like I said, make sure that you get these edges nice and crisp. Turn it over and varnish this down. Now this is also a good time. I'm going to reinforce my basket because I want this basket to be nice and sturdy. So I have another piece of red cardstock. Doesn't match, but this is that Brutus Monroe that is 110-pound weight. So I am going to measure, but I'm pretty sure this is a 4x4, and it is. So I'm going to cut this 4x4, but I'm going to make it just scantly less than a 4x4 because I want it to fit in. So I am going to cut, I'm going to pull it in just a hair so that it's not quite a 4. Just barely, just like that. And I need 1, 2, 3, 5 of these. So let's go here. We're going to do it again. Just pulling it back off of that 4-inch mark just ever so slightly. Okay, this gives us our 4 sides, so I'm going to show you what I mean about that. Oh, I got them cut too big, didn't I? Okay, the one in the bottom fits perfect. So I'm going to go ahead, while we're gluing these together, I'm going to glue this in the bottom. I forgot about the top pieces folding down, so I am going to have to cut the other pieces down just a little bit. But like I said, we want this basket to be very, very sturdy. And in order to do that, we do need to reinforce. So that's what I'm doing here. Get over here where you can see. I just laid that piece down, that 4x4, directly down. And I am going to go back and remeasure what I need these to be. Because I was thinking the 4x4, this is like 3... I think we could do these at 3 by 3 7/8. Let's see. 3 by 3 7/8. I think this is going to be perfect for that. Yep, that's going to work. And then 3 7/8, and that should work perfect right there. Oh, that one's a little bit short. Let's see. And like I said, I'll have these all in the description so that we can make sure that we have these to fit. All right, 3. Okay, that one works there. And that one works right. Nope, that one's short. I don't know what I did with that one, but I didn't do it well. All right, let's go ahead and get these pieces glued down before we get the whole side of the box done. So we got 3 pieces and we only need 1 more. So tell you what, let's do. Let's lay this one on here. I'm going to use my pencil just to give me a little mark right there and there. We're just going to cut this off. And let me get these little pieces out of my way. Sometimes you just have to, you know, go with it. And we slice that off, and nobody's the wiser except you and I. Alright, so now we have this piece to fit in here, and this piece to fit in here, and that piece, and we need 1 more that is going to live on this piece. And we've established that one's too short, and we need to take right about that much off of this one. And let's measure it against this one. And it's going to be like that. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to use the little pencil mark. That seemed to work really good a while ago. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? That's what I always say. You know, just whatever you have to do to make this work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get these pieces glued in before we go any further. So I am just going to take my art glitter glue, and again, we are just reinforcing so it doesn't have to be such a perfect amount of glue, but we do want it to sit in there well. So I am going to put this one right here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is lining the inside of this box with these pieces. And I am going to get a measurement on those so that when I put this on the measurement, this is going to be at 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. I hate to throw eighths at y'all, but sometimes it's a necessity. So that was one of the times I felt like this was a needed measurement. So let's put this one in. This also finishes up the inside of your box, so you don't see those seams where we put it together. I keep calling it a box, when in actuality, this is going to be a basket. So let's see if we can put this side together. And I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. No, we're going to do it after we get this together. So we've got another piece right here that needs to be glued in, so let's do this one. I'm trying to get all of them glued in before I put the basket together, so we only have to fight with one piece to get it in there, if that makes any sense. I hope all this is making sense, but you know, sometimes when you are rattling measurements and you're trying to cut pieces to fit, it can be a little confusing. But I will have all of these correct measurements in the description for y'all, so that you won't have the struggle. Let me do the struggling. Okay, let's put that piece in like that. And let's put glue on this one. And again, I'm going to stand this up, making sure that these edges are nice and straight. When I start putting on my stripes, it's going to give it that little beautiful folded edge. You're going to see why it's so important to have these as straight as you possibly can. So now I'm going to pull this one back out, because this is the other piece that needs glue. And I am going to run my glue. And then we are going to slide this one in just like that. And I'm going to hold that and get it just as straight as I possibly can. And that looks good. So now all we have to do is put glue on this one and slide it in right there. And we have it completely lined, and it's a nice heavy, heavy basket. Alright, so there is our box that we're starting off to do our basket with. Now we're going to turn it over like this, and I'll show you why. We are going to use, I can't decide if I want my stripes to be this way with the Santa Clauses, or if I want to use this beautiful stripe. I love the stripe, but Santa Claus is so festive, and I can't try it on because once I cut the strips this way, then they're going to be going the wrong way this way, which is really bad, because I would love to cut my strips and then kind of lay them out and see which one I like the best. I am so torn. Okay, somebody help me out. Send your thought waves to me and tell me what you think. Would you do this one, or would you do this one? I so love the stripes, but I think I'm going to go with the Santa Clauses. Somebody out there screaming Santa Claus, I know you are. Alright, so what we're going to need to do here first is we need to cut this down to 11 inches. So I'm going to just bring it over, and we're cutting a 1-inch strip off of one end of it. So we'll call it this end right here. And that's cute, because that can give me a little border piece for something else that just has these cute little snowmen on it. So I'm going to hang on to that. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut one 2-inch strip off first. This is going to be for our handle. And normally the directions that I had said to do it in 1 inch, but I want this to be a super strong handle. So I'm going to do 2 inches, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to lay that to the side because that's going to be our handle. Now we need 6 pieces cut at 1 inch. So I'm actually going to use this side because it's easier. I have my 1 inch on this side, and I can control my paper over on this side by holding it. So when you're cutting a long piece of paper, I always check the top of my paper to make sure it's even, and I look down here at the bottom also to make sure it's lining up on that, because paper can get a little catty-wonkus, and which means crooked, and I just want to make sure that my pieces are straight, because this is crucial with this product. With this project. Every project, your paper needs to be straight, but this one in particular, because of the nature of the bends and what have you. So that's 3, and we need 3 more. I'm just double checking my top and bottom. That's 4, 5, and 6. Now, as you can see, I used up just about a complete 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and then I lined with an 8.5 by 11 100-pound cardstock. I lined my basket. So that's pretty much. I had this much left out of my red, my Brutus Monroe that I reinforced, and I have this much left out of my Santa Claus piece. So, and we will use that, so I'm not throwing that away. Alright, so what we want to do now is get our scoreboard back out. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to get our scoreboard back out, and we have to score these in 2 places. So I am going to lay it out like this, and we need to score at 3.5 and at 7.5. So 3.5 and 7.5. And you're going to do each one of these at those same measurements. 3.5 by 7.5. And I'm gonna do a run check on this to make sure, because what this is going to do is give you where this will lay on the bottom. Yeah, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So these are working. So I'm going to lay the ones that I've done over there, and I'm just going to keep going. 3.5 and 7.5. 3.5 and 7.5. 3.5 by 7.5. And our last one, 3.5 by 7.5. When I do a lot of pieces like this, the same measurement, I start to second guess myself, and I'll say, oh, did I do that at 3.5 or did I do it at 2.5? But if you lay them together and do this little test, and they all come out at the same bend, then you know you did them right. And this one's already done, and then all we have to do is this one. Alrighty, so these are all correct. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my box over, and I'm going to start laying these out just like this. Now Santa Claus is going to be going upside down on one side, so decide what you want the front of your box to be. And I'm going to take this for my front. So I am going to lay my Santa Clauses like this. And I start off with putting one to the far side. So all we're going to do is put glue on this part right here. Move that out so y'all can see what I'm doing. And then we are going to lay this down just like this. And I'm scooting it because, you know, our glue gives us just a little bit of wiggle room, and I want to make sure that it's flush with that side of my box. And there we go. So now we are going to put down the other piece, and I'm going to put it over on this side. For me, this just makes it easier for me to get them where I need them, and then that center piece I'll put in the middle and just kind of eyeball it to see if I'm getting it centered up. Now you could very easily measure everything and make sure that it's exactly perfect, but I don't think it needs to be that perfect. So now I'm going to grab one more of these, and I'm going to lay him in the middle just like that, and I'm just going to look and see if that looks about right, and it does. So I'm going to take it back off, and I'm going to put my glue on it. I think as paper crafters, we love to do our little trial runs, so that's why I had to lay it down prior to putting my glue on it. And see, I'm still having to wiggle it just a little bit, and that looks about perfect. So now I'm going to sit that down, and I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to press inside the box, pressing that bottom into that glue, just like that. And before I do anything else, I'm going to turn it over now this way, and we've got 3 more pieces, and they need to be put on like this. So again, as close over to the edge as you can get it, and we're going to do another piece here and a piece here. And when we finish, this will be all of the pieces we have to glue onto this little basket. Now, I think these baskets would be adorable sitting around in your house with some Christmas candy in them. You could put some homemade cookies or candies, wrap it up in a tight little cellophane bag, and put that in the inside of here. Give it away for a gift. Everybody loves homemade goodies at Christmas. And I know I make cookies and candies and all kinds of stuff at Christmas that I don't make any other time of the year. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to put it, so you're going to have this very crisscross look on the bottom, but again, this is going to help reinforce that bottom. And once you see how cute this is going to be, oh my heavens, it is going to be super adorable. Okay, all the way over to this side, making sure that we're getting that down just perfect, or as perfect as we can be. You know, as crafters, we like perfection, but we don't always do perfect. And we're not going to worry about it, because we're having fun, we're making something beautiful, and more than likely we're going to give this to someone that's going to appreciate it. Or we're going to make them for our own house, and we're going to appreciate it. But I'm definitely going to make 2 or 3 of these to sit around in my house for Christmas with some pretty festive candies in them. Hershey's Kisses in the red and green and silver. I love those. Now this is what you're going to have when you turn it over. So, but never fear, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring these little pieces up, and see how they go up under there? We're going to come down about to there, because what you want is this piece to cover. So if you want to make a little mark, I'm not, because I don't feel like I need to. I'm going to use this as my guideline, and I am going to actually use some sticky tape. And I'll tell you why I want to use sticky tape. When I stick that up there, I want it to stay. So I am going to, if I can find the end of this, and I did, I'm going to take some sticky tape, and I'm going to put just a little piece. I'm also going to run glue, so don't get excited and think, oh no, she's not going to use art glitter glue. Yes, I am going to use art glitter glue. So if you don't have the tape, you can do this with your glue. I'm doing this just as a little added security, because I want this basket to last a long, long time. And if you give it to someone as a gift, you want it to hold up. You don't want this basket to fall apart on someone. So just, make sure you do this, and it'll be just a wonderful gift. I know I'd be happy if somebody gave me a basket like this, whether they gave it to me with store-bought candy or if they made it themselves. It still would be so special. So think about that when you're giving out your little goodies. This would be a great gift to give a hairdresser. This would be a great gift to give your mailman. If you're like me, you have FedEx carriers and UPS carriers. It would be a great little gift to give them. And I mean, it's just, so many people. A school teacher, your child's in school. Even if your child has a good friend, and you wanted to give them a little gift for Christmas from your child, this would be a cute little thing to do. And they're not that hard to make, and they really work off a lot quicker than you would think. You know what I'm going to do instead of cutting? I'm just going to start tearing a little piece of this, because I basically just want a piece at the top to help get me stuck down when I put this up here. So, and you want to get these as even as you can, but you want them to be underneath this little lip. See that lip right there? We're going to call that a lip from here on out. And I'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I do apologize for my interruption, but hey, so is life. When I left you, I was putting the tape on these, or I had just finished getting the tape on, and we were starting to put these on. I did release the tape off of these three right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in right over top of that sticky tape, and I'm just going to put a little bit of art glitter glue. Not only is this going to give me, oops, I didn't take that one off. Not only is this going to give me the little added extra time that I need to stick this down, but it's also going to reinforce I can't talk today. It is one of those dreary, ugly days outside, and I have just had a hard time with just not feeling well. I don't know what it is with the barometric pressure, but I always have really bad headaches. But nevertheless, we're going to get this done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this as my guide, and I'm going to bring that down just about to there, because I just want that to cover. And I'm going to press it. Oops, it didn't want to stick. Did y'all see that? Okay, so we're just going to hold it there just for a little bit. Just enough to let that glue adhere. It didn't take long. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to go under here, and I'm going to try to line it up so that they're even. That's the one thing you do want to do, because you want your pieces to have that same look. And then we're going to put some glue on this one, because we did not. I did, but I put it on top of the backer. So we're going to bring this one up, and again, I'm going to line it up right with these, and line it up, and make sure that this one is all the way over to the edge. And then what's going to happen, you're going to glue this strip down over top of it, and that's going to definitely help hold them in place. But that's going to give you that cute little curvature that you're wanting right there. So we're going to do the same thing with all three of these. So let me go ahead and the other three sides is what I'm saying. So let me go ahead and release the tape off of these. And I have Toby down here beside me wanting my attention, as usual. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm going to put just a small amount of glue, and I'm going to curve it up, and I'm going to turn it this way so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm curving it up to right about there, bringing it all the way over to that edge, and then I'm going to hold it. And you do need to hold on to these just for a few minutes to let that adhere, because you want these to stick really, really well. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to bring it up, measuring the distance. Just like that. And then we're going to do this last one on this side. And these little baskets, I think, are just super cute. I think they're so versatile. There's so many things that you can do with them. And like I said, I use mine, and you can make this in any color paper that you want. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these pieces down. Just like that. Now, if you don't want to sit and hold, and you have some of the little clothespins, which I do have some somewhere over here, if I can find them. Of course, they're on the back side of my... Here we go. I have these little clothespins like this, so if you wanted to take and just, you know, put a couple of those on to help it hold for you while you are working another side, that would be a perfect thing to do. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to come in here and put glue all underneath that little flap, the little fold down, and then I'm going to press it. And I'm going to go ahead and grab another couple clothespins. This is exactly why I keep these on my craft desk. I actually have them in a little drawer in my little tool caddy, because they do come in so handy when you need an extra hand to hold something and you need to move on to something else. So, and this is a perfect example of that. Now I've got a little piece of sticky tape that's over top of the edge there, and I'm just going to roll it back onto itself. I don't know if anybody else suffers with the fall allergies like I do, but the fall is such a hard time for me, and I don't understand. I suffer in the spring too, but it seems like the fall is just about as bad, if not worse, than the spring. And so I have been a little raspy and just really just not feeling good, I think, because of the allergies. I don't like it, but what can you do? There isn't too much you can do. You suffer through, right? Okay, I'm going to hold that right there just for a moment, and then I'm going to stick my little clothespin on it, and then I'm going to come down here and do this last one, the end one, because now we have a clothespin on it. We just need to slide this under, ever so careful. Just like that. And I think we need another clothespin because it does not want to hold. There. Now I'm going to put a little dab of glue here. And we are going to stick this one just barely under there. Maybe we'll stick a clothespin on it as well. And now we're going to take our backers off of our last 3 strips. And we're going to put a little bit of our art glitter glue on each one of these. And I am going to go with this one first. Get that one down. And I am going to take one off of here and just move it over here. Let's put another one right here. Maybe we'll take that one off and put here. And then we're going to slide this one just up under there. Just about like that. And we'll grab one of these over here. And I think these are good to take off now. Oops, that one did not glue. Okay, so now this one looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on this piece. And you know, like I told you, this is a very easy project. It has a real wow factor, but it really isn't hard to make because it's all straight lines. It comes together really, really fast, and I love the look of it. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Is that not a beautiful little basket? Now, the only thing we have left to do, and this is going to be our front, is we're going to put handles here and here, or here and here. I think here and here. I think we're going to put our handles on the sides. So here is our handle. I'm going to move my clothespins out of my way, and while I'm scoring this for the handle, I am going to close my glue up so I don't have a mess. And then we're going to grab our scoreboard, and on this piece right here, I am going to score this at a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. This is a 2-inch piece, and we want to score it at a 1/2 and a 1/2. And I will tell you why we're doing it there. The original instructions for this said to cut it 1 inch and just put it on. I did want my first basket like that, and the handle is very flimsy. So my second one, I did a 2-inch piece, and I actually scored a 1/2 inch on each side and folded it in. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So there's my 1/2 inch. So we're going to fold this in. And we're going to fold it in. Let's move the scoreboard so we can be able to burnish this down really well. So on this side, I am going to press that score line down really, really well. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to really press it because I really want this to be crisp. And I am going to run some art glitter glue on both sides of this and adhere it. And then we're going to do a curve on it, and I'll show you exactly how this is going to come together. So now I'm going to just press this down, just like that. And I'm using the heat from my fingers just to get that to seal really, really good. Now we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to put down my art glitter glue. Just like this. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start here in the middle, and I'm going to press it, press it, press it, and just keep pressing it down. And once we get it completely adhered, then I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to work it, because this is a double piece and I don't want it to buckle. And if you feel buckles in it, just turn it over and work that little buckle out. But all I'm doing now is I'm just giving it the curve that I want it. And again, I'm letting my fingers do the work, because I could take the bone folder and curve it, and it would take a lot less time, but you're going to get buckling really bad under here. Whereas if you do it with your hand, now we have the curvature that we need without having the major buckles underneath there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this in, and our handle is going to adhere on each side right there. So you want to go down about a quarter of an inch, about 3/4 of an inch, about the same width as this. So I'm going to use this middle line to kind of line it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some art glitter glue, good little amount, because I really want this to stick. And I'm going to come down about that far, and I am going to hold this because I don't want it to wiggle. I want it to be very straight. So I am going to take the time to hold this in place, holding it and pressing it. I think that is holding really well. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we're going to have the fun part, and that's decorating it. So I am going to go ahead and put me a good amount of glue right here, right on this end. And like I said, you just want to do it about 1/2 inch up that strip. And then you want to bring that strip down, lining it up right with that middle stripe that's going down. And then you just want to hold it and press it and hold it and press it. Now there is our cute little basket. Is that not adorable? Now you see how easy that was to make, and this is a piece that you can use over and over. It's very, very sturdy. This piece will last you a long time, and you can put some weight in here. This would be great for a Christmas ornament giveaway. We have an ornament exchange party in my family every year, and how wonderful would it be to wrap an ornament in some pretty decorative paper, put it down in here and let it be sticking out, and give this away with the ornament. Beautiful. That would be a great way to use this little Christmas basket. And we always think of baskets being an Easter basket, but they don't have to be. Okay, let's get some little embellishments and see if we can decorate this, and then we can call this project done. But I still want to make a couple of these, and I want them to match. And I'm going to sit them around at Christmas and put candy in them. I think that would be a great way. Now you can make these and not put the handle on them, but I mean really, is it not? It is just super adorable with the handle. I love the curvature of those pieces out. And I just want to thank Miss Edith Ray for bringing this project to me, because like I said, I know this has been done by other people, but the person that I saw do it first was Edith Ray, and it is just stinking adorable. So hang on for me a minute, let me grab some Christmas embellishments and we'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I have pulled quite a few things off. I have these cute little buttons. Now if I'm going to use this, I would actually use a pair of pliers or something and snap that off so that I could glue it straight on. And I am thinking I might do that. Let me see if I can find something that I can use. And perhaps my little snips right here will work. And it did. That cut it off beautifully. And I'm thinking what I want to do is put the candy canes one on each side. Oh, I've got single ones. Okay. Alright, this will work too. Let's do the single ones. And my phone has been buzzing off of the hook today. Not so many phone calls, but I do get quite a few messages, so just bear with me. I'm thinking, I really love the two together. I think these are stunning. But I am thinking maybe one of these here and one like this on each side. So let's see if we can snap this one off. And they usually come off really easy, and which it did. Now I am going to take some art glitter glue, and I'm going to put one right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put down a little gob of art glitter glue, just like that, because I want to sit this in it so that it can adhere. Just like that. That's probably going to have to sit for a few minutes to dry. But then while I'm waiting for that one to dry, let's see if we can sit that right there. I'm going to snip off this one. Let's make sure it's going the right note. That one's not going the right direction. This one right here. I want one to be going in one direction and one the other. And I'm going to snip that off. And then this one's going to go right there. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let's see. Bring this over here where y'all can see it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put down a nice little gob of, oops, I don't think I sealed this one down. I surely didn't. I didn't put it, caught on one end and I thought it was glued. I'm glad I fiddled with it a little bit more and realized that side was not glued down like the rest of them. So anytime that happens, you know, you might want to go double check and make sure that your sides are glued, and if they're not, stick a little bit more glue up underneath there. But those all look good now. Alright, and this is the one we're going to put right here. So I am going to put a nice little gob. Gob doesn't sound very nice, does it? But that's what it is, a dollop. And I think that's what they say in one of the commercials for sour cream. A little dollop. So there's a dollop of glue to hold that one in place. Isn't that cute? Now, I found these at Tuesday Morning. Oops, that's not holding. Oop, 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 oop. I may have to just hold these for just a minute. Okay. I found these gold poinsettias at Tuesday Morning, and I think they were like $3.49, but they were so pretty I could not resist them. And this bigger one, you know, I don't even think we need the big one. I think this one right here will work because we got the candy canes, and I think this will really add to it just by putting this one on there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this little poinsettia. It gives us a little different color, a little different dimension, and I'm going to sit that right in the middle, just like that. And now I want to bling this up just a little bit more. So I have some red bling somewhere. Or do I want to use pearls? I think I'm going to use the pearls. I like the way the pearls look against that red. And like I've always said, I love red and white for Christmas, or red and gold. And I think these are going to be really pretty next to that, if I can get them out of this wrapper. And I'm going to use the bigger pearl. So I am going to use my little pokey tool. Let's see if I can find one. This is my old one, but we'll use it. And all I'm going to do is just take one of these pearls off. I'm going to start out by putting one in the middle. And I'm going to come over here and put one in the middle. I think these little baskets can be dressed up so beautiful in so many different ways. So I'm also, if I can find Edith's video, I will link that below so you can watch her make hers. And hers, like I said, I do reinforce my top, and she might have done some other little things in hers. I can't remember because it's been a while since I watched it. So I'm going to take the smaller pearl now, and I'm going to pick up and put a small one here and a small one here. Just like that. And I'm going to do that on this side as well. On the three sides that I do not have the main decorations, I'm just going to put the pearls on it. Oh, there went one of my... I'm going to have to put these on with something different, I do believe. I might have to do a glue dot or something that they will adhere into. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's finish getting the pearls on here. Oops. Just like that. And then right over here we need 2 more of this medium-sized pearl. And we're going to put one right there. And what I'm using to line them up is I'm actually using the strip here, and I'm trying to line them up about midway. And, you know, don't stress yourself over everything being perfect, because very few things in life are perfect. And let me get my little glue dots, and I'll show you what I'm going to use to put this down with. And I think this will work much better. These little glue dots like this are really nice for things like this that just don't seem like they want to stick to anything else. So I'm going to roll that glue dot around just a little bit so that it's directly behind there, and then I'm going to stick it into that that glue that I have on there, and look how cute that is. That's not going to go anywhere now. So let's grab another one. And these are so nice because you can stick your piece right into it, just like that, and it will come off with it. And then, like I said, just take and roll that excess behind your piece. If you're using something small, you might be using some little smaller poinsettias, or maybe some little snowmen or something. You might not have this problem with getting them to adhere. But anyway, that is our basket, and this filled up with some candy. You could put wrappers with some homemade cookies in it. There's just so many things that you could do with this. And like I said, an ornament, a basket for your ornament in an ornament exchange. And you could let the person that gets that know that they can use this as a basket, you know, for their Christmas decorations. So they would be getting a 2-for-1 for sure. So anyway, that is our project for today. I am going to move all of my stuff out of the way so we can just concentrate on the beauty of this cute, cute, cute basket. So let's get everything else out of the way and just look at this. Is it not adorable? I love it. I am really, really pleased with how good it turned out, and I hope that you'll make one. And if you do, go over to our Facebook group and join us there. You have to request to be to join. You just make the request, you answer a couple of questions, and then you are accepted in. And you can post your creations there and share with us and inspire others to maybe make a project that you're working on. But whatever you do, I want to see it. I'm really interested in your crafting and your ability and how you do things. So join us over there. And also, if you are new to my channel, this is maybe your first or second time watching and you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. And right beside the subscribe button is a little bell. And if you ring that, you can actually choose how you want to see notifications. And that way you can be notified every time I put a video up. Doesn't mean you have to run and watch it right then, but it lets you know that there's a new content on my channel, so then you can watch it at your leisure. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank you for just for all your support. I'm turning this up to the camera because I didn't see down here. It doesn't look as pretty as it actually is, but this is just gorgeous, and I hope you're being able to see just how pretty it is. Isn't that pretty? But anyway, again, like I always say before I close out, may God bless you in everything that you do and say. Let it bring glory to Him. He is so worthy of our praise. He's so worthy of our worship. And He is so good to us. And because He's so good, just love one another. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.